This is Money, Motivation, and Mike, and I'm your host, Michael Wainwright. In charge of all the controls, as always, Jason Wright. And hello to you, world. This is the show that will change your life. You can contact us at info@mx3.vip, and you can find all of our content at mx3.vip or on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/@mx3podcast. And don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and bell icon to receive all of our new content, which comes out every Monday morning around 9 o'clock. Now, speaking of that, Jason, going on to people that have been contacting us and watching our show, some very, very interesting numbers. And we always like to talk about the numbers because it shows to you, the listening audience, that you are on the right show, and no pun intended there. And that not only you, but your family and friends and any of those who you may care about should be on our show as well. We just had the best 28 days in the history of the show. Over the last 28 days, our audio listeners was 31,698. That's the most ever for a 28-day period, Jason, which is big-time stuff. And I don't know what else to say. 31,698 audio listeners just over the last 30 days. And moving over to our YouTube channel, just in the last 7 days, our watch time has went up 30% more to 56.8 hours. We have 75 more subscribers than we did have 7 days ago. All good numbers. And just on this last Sunday alone, had 455 people tune in to view our show. 2,999 views over the last 7 days. So continuing to increase. And it's all because of the listening audience, and I 100% believe it's because we're bringing content to you that you find very intriguing, and a little bit more along those lines of all of our listening audience. And I was asking Jason about the demographics of where we're coming to you, or where we're taking our show to. Right now, we're in 8 different countries, Jason, 8 different countries. The United States, Bangladesh, Brazil, Netherlands, Germany, France, the UK, and I think it's Tanzania. And 5 of the 7 continents right now we have listeners. That's astonishing stuff for us. Still very, very good West Coast presence, with Seattle coming in first and Portland coming in third. So once again, thank you, audience. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for continuing to listen to our show, and we're going to continue to try to work hard and bring you goodies. Now, over the last couple of weeks, as you know, we have turned a little bit to these reaction videos that I have really, really been excited about, and frankly, we have one set up for today. And I've also told you that as we come into the fall, we're going to start talking about the National Football League, something that is very, very important to this country that we live in the United States of America. And you know, forever we always thought that the national pastime was baseball, and we are huge baseball fans as well. But I think we all know that when the fall comes in, it's all about football, whether it be high school football on Fridays, college football on Saturdays, or the National Football League. Well, not only on Sundays, but Mondays and now on Thursdays. So lots of football to come, and I wanted to talk about the Dallas Cowboys today. But I was in a grade school over the last week, as I had mentioned this previous episode the week before, and saw some signs in the office of this particular grade school, and it just hit me on the things that we have in that lobby of this particular school. And I'm sure it's in grade schools, maybe junior highs, middle schools, high schools, all over the country. But this particular school I was in over this previous last week, these signs just hit me, and it's something I got to bring to you today. And we're going to have to hold off another week on reaction and football, Jason, because this is what it's all about. And somehow these topics that we're fixing to touch on, we get this in, well, I guess we don't get it ingrained into our minds in grade school, like the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s. But nevertheless, these signs are in the grade school. And somehow when we walk out that grade school door as 4th or 5th graders or 6th graders, wherever your local grade school cuts it off and goes to the next level, somehow we start losing these particular subjects. And then we go to high school and lose a few more. We go to college, and it seems like as we become adults, including ourselves here on this show, we forget about some of these things that we were taught at a young age. And here are these 8 particular, well, they're signs, and they are the size of a piece of paper. For our viewing audience, they can see these. I was in this office and I pulled out my phone and I just took pictures of them, and because they hit me big time. And right off the bat, there's 8 of them, and I'm going to go through them, and then we'll go back and talk about them for a minute. And number 1, these are the signs that they have in this grade school: friendship, integrity, gratitude, generosity, kindness, peace, patience, and commitment. Now, these are in no order. They are in an order up there on this particular wall, but there's not a, you can tell there was no method to this madness on how they put these up there. But you just think about these 8 particular words, and we could do shows on each one of these words and fill up our full allotment of time that we bring into our show to you. But these words that were in this school, they just hit me in how we go to grade school and we send our children to school to learn. And these are some of the things that this particular school district thought was important to put on these walls. And I don't know if they're in every wall in the country. I don't even know if they're on every wall in every grade school in this particular school district. But nevertheless, they're there. And somehow, as we grow older, we forget about these words, including myself. So we'll just go back over here and we'll start with friendship. And I'm gonna tell you what this particular school has under each one of these topics in friendship. And your words, your actions, the way you behave when you are a friend, are you using your words and actions in a caring way towards your friends? That's the friendship. The integrity is choosing to be truthful in whatever you say and do. Integrity. The gratitude, letting others know you see how they helped you. You are thankful, which is another word, obviously. You are thankful for what they do for you. Are you really seeing what others do for you, or do you just take that for granted? Do you take it for granted that what your parents do for you? Do you take it for granted for what your friends do for you? What your coworkers at your office, your workplace, wherever it is? Do you just take that for granted, and maybe you don't have the gratitude that you should have? The 4th word being generosity, making someone else's day by giving something away. Generosity. You know, the word is, the Bible says, the first step of receiving is giving. And in this particular world that we live in today, in the year 2023, we used to only have one hand out. It seems now, Jason, we have 2 hands out. It's all about what can you do for me, and not necessarily what I can do for you. And generosity is a big thing. How big is your heart? How much do you give? Or when you get up in the morning, are you trying to figure out how to change somebody else's lives? Or are you trying to figure out how somebody's going to help you today? Generosity, big word. The 5th word that we were sitting here talking about is kindness. Showing others they are valuable by how you treat them. Kindness. Are you kind to people? Do you consider their feelings? Do you consider maybe what they're going through in their life? Do you really value them? Going back to that first word of friendship, do you really value them as a friend, a next door neighbor, a family member? Are you kind on a regular basis, or are you only kind? And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Are you only kind when you want something? And when your needs are met, you don't even know that person exists, even though they live next door to you, even though you work with them. The day you need something kind, it's hello, how you doing? Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. But when I don't need you, am I going to continue to be kind? Now, word number 6 is one of my favorite words in the world. Those of you who know me very well, and that word is peace. And peace, proving you care more about each other than winning an argument? Do you care more about keeping the peace than you do winning an argument? I've struggled with this, mightily, because, well, for many years, Jason, I have always known that my viewpoint versus your viewpoint, just a person in general, my viewpoint was more important than yours. Not even listening sometimes to your viewpoint. It did not matter. Peace was the farthest thing from my mind when we got into I don't even say an argument, but a disagreement. Sports, politics, religion, what you should, the clothing you should have, just the goofiest arguments ever, how you should act. But peace is one of my favorite words in the world. Just the listening audience, here you go. My three favorite words that mean the most to me is peace, faith, and blessed. Those are my three favorite words in the world. And the peace just happens to be the one here on this particular schoolhouse. But proving you care about getting along with other people by taking peace instead of the argument. Very, very big word. Now, I have went from a word that I love in peace to the next word, which is number 7, that I don't want to use the word hate, but I can't stand this word, and it's patience. Patience has gotten the best of me for a long, long time. Now, what is patience on this particular wall? Waiting until later for what you want now. We live in an instant gratification world. We live in an instant gratification society. We want it today. We don't want it tomorrow. And obviously the technology and the things, or this internet, just like what we're being able to bring to you right here, the technology that's involved, and you being able to hear us talk and see us talk on our channels at any moment after we publish our show. That's instant gratification. You don't have to wait till noon on your favorite news station every day to listen to Paul Harvey anymore. You get to listen to it whenever you want to listen to it. And if you miss the Paul Harvey show at noon, you don't ever get to hear it again, because very seldom did they do replays back in those times. And you can't go back. It was what we didn't even think about recorders, etc. So patience, something I have really, really, really struggled with and continue to struggle with today. Don't have the patience to be able to sit still for more than a few minutes till I got to go do something else. But patience is of all 8 of these words, and we're fixing to move to number 8. Patience is the one that I definitely struggle with the most. I'd be interested in hearing what each one of you struggle with the most. And remember, info at MX3.VIP, and we'd love for you to tell us about your particular word here that means the most to you, the one that you struggle with the most as well. And moving on to that number 8th word, commitment. Making a plan and putting it into action. I feel that most of the time we're able to do that very, very well in the operations and in my life and the businesses that we have, the things that we do, taking on a commitment. And sometimes things don't go the way that they're supposed to go, Jason. Sometimes it goes awry, and there's nothing you can do about that. But you are committed to a particular project. You're committed to your family. You're committed to your team. You're committed to your religion, your church, whatever it is. You have to be committed. And going back to the first word, friendship. You have to be committed to your friends. You have to be there for them when they need you, and you're gonna be there for you when you need them. That's what in friendship's all about. And when you come to that friendship, you have the integrity to be able to tell them whatever it is that they need to know. And sometimes that hurts people's feelings. And then, you have gratitude towards somebody for being able to do that. And then that makes you want to go out and be generous as well and bring some things to those folks, such as kindness and peace. And then having the patience to watch all this come together. And while the patience is taking place, having the commitment to stay with the project. I think I put all 8 of those words together pretty well right there. if I must say so myself. But nevertheless, in this particular schoolhouse, these words right there, and we all know that most of our schools, if not all of them now, are locked up. You have to go through the office after you get approved to go into the office, and you have to go through this office, and the first thing you're going to see is these particular signs, these particular words, a little bit of meaning underneath, and what it means to be a part of these words and bring these words to your life, not only on a regular basis, but on a daily basis, and bringing those words to your family and your friends on a regular basis. And even though they're words, the most important thing that shows up in these words is your actions, and bringing those actions into play and showing people that that is what it's all about. But my point is that here we have these words that somehow over our age and over the years, we lose touch with these words. But right here in kindergarten through, in this particular school, 4th grade, 5th grade, they're being shown for their students, the students of those kids' parents, the other visitors that may be in that schoolhouse for a moment, such as myself in this particular case. Here these words are for you. And here I am at 54 years old and running back into these words. So I want to pass those along, Jason, to the 8 countries in 5 different continents that listen to Money, Motivation, and Mike on a pretty regular basis as our audience continues to grow. So that's what I had for you today. I'm back into these meaningful things, and I know we spent a whole lot of time over growth and personal growth and somewhat personal health. And here's you 8 more words to be putting into your personal growth and personal health on a daily basis, which helps you when you start going out here and we do these reaction videos, because they can get pretty exciting, Jason, and everybody has an opinion. And of course we do too, and we've expressed those. So next week we'll get back, and I don't know at the moment. It's kind of like turning into a Baptist preacher. Not really sure what I'm going to preach on next week. The topics, and actually I have another item over here on business and capital raising, etc. But we're trying to stay focused on another reaction video or two. And then we got the fall schedule coming up here. And obviously our favorite team, the Dallas Cowboys, as you can see by all the Cowboy helmets that we have out here. And of course, we do have that Miami Dolphins. Then we'll eventually get back to that game in the Thanksgiving Day of 1993, the first game that my brother Jason and I ever got to attend together. So we'll get back to that as well. So once again, info at mx3.vip, mx3.vip to find all of our content. Go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@mx3podcast. And don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and the icon bell to be notified of all of our new content, which comes out every Monday around 9 o'clock. So once again, for everyone who's been a part of this one, continue to live your life the right way.